Hi, welcome to Conversations. I'm Joel Engardio with the American Civil Liberties Union, and today's conversation is with Matt Coles, the director of the ACLU's LGBT Project. That's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Matt, thanks for being part of the conversation.
Great to be here.
And some say that your legacy here at the ACLU is how you figured out a way to combine the power of persuasion, public education, the press, with the litigation.
Well, I'm not
with
dead
the organizing.
yet, so
You're
I
not,
don't
you're
have
not
a
dead
legacy
yet.
yet.
But it's a legacy you've started.
Maybe this is what they should put on my tombstone. That changing the way people think is as important as changing the law. You don't change society, not in a broad, diverse democratic republic, unless you can convince people to accept it. To me, that involved thinking creatively about methods of communication, to stop just thinking about press releases. You have to begin thinking creatively. How do you go about telling a story? And I think lawyers are unfortunately usually very bad storytellers.
And why is that?
Because I think lawyers' job is to focus on the law and to focus on abstract principles. And I don't think abstract principles move people. But the way you get to people is with people. And so the trick really is to think, what's the principle I'm trying to communicate here? Now, find me someone whose tale, whose life embodies that principle. And if you want to do it really well, find me somebody whose life embodies that principle, who the rest of America is going to be able to relate to.
But how does the ACLU tell stories? If you say lawyers are lousy storytellers and we're a house full of lawyers, how do we do that?
God, my colleagues are going to kill me. I don't think lawyers are trained storytellers. I think anybody can be a good storyteller we're just not trained to be in law school. And I think actually many of my colleagues are marvelous at it and getting better all the time. But in the end, it's not the lawyers you want telling the story at all, I think. I think you want, the lawyers should be the enablers, but that what they should be enabling is they should be enabling people whose lives embody the principles to tell the story.
But this isn't totally new. I mean, in a way, couldn't you say this is like the Finding Rosa Parks? I mean, other groups employed these methods. You know, she wasn't the first who wouldn't go to the back of the bus.
Absolutely.
She had the great story.
Joel, I've never had an original thought in my life. And absolutely, I mean, look, what we learned time and again, you can almost walk it through history, is if you want to change the way people think about something, if you want to move people, you have to make it concrete, real. People respond to principles and ideas, but they respond to principles and ideas much more powerfully when they're introduced to them through a human embodiment.
But this is, I mean, let's go back further. This is biblical.
Sure.
Terrible stories. I mean,
absolutely.
So, but why is it, if it's that old and that tried and that tested and that true, how come more people don't do it? Or why is it that you had to come along and try to
Well,
innovate
you give me
it?
too much credit, but I think I think we just needed to get the journalists together with the lawyers and get them talking to each other so that the journalists would understand what the principles were and how they worked, and so that the lawyers would understand how to really embody them. So it's really, you're right, it's a marriage of two old things, and there's nothing unique or particularly clever about it, but its embodiment at this stage works.
Matt Coles, it's been great talking with you.
Same here.
Thanks for being part of Conversations.
It's a pleasure. Take care. Thanks, Joel.
If you're watching Conversations online, I'd like to invite you to click on the next chapter to see the continued conversation with Matt Coles. For the ACLU, I'm Joel Engardio.